Welcome to Nancy and Nicole, real life, real talk. And today, what are we going to talk about, Nicole?
Being nice versus being honest.
Ooh, that sounds
I
kind of
know, juicy,
spicy.
right?
Is it an either or, do you think? Like you should either be nice or honest? Like,
I
is one
think
of those better than the other?
think it depends. And it's funny as we're talking about it, and as we were talking about prepping for this episode, in my mind, they're two separate things. Like you're either
Ooh,
nice or you're honest. And that's probably a whole episode in its own because nice and honest could be the same thing.
ooh.
But my assumption is that you're one or the other.
Yeah, that was
Hmm.
kind of my thinking going into this conversation, I have to say.
Yeah, and I think that'll be the what we talk about during the episode, but I just had that realization as we hit record, like, we're coming at this assuming it's 2 different things
We
and
did
not
say
one and the
nice versus honest.
I know, exactly. So maybe there'll be the to be continued part 2 of nice and honest at the same time.
Ooh,
And I suppose you could argue that honest is nice, whether it feels nice or not, but again, that'll be part 2. So
yeah.
yeah, nice versus honest. What comes up for you when we talk about that?
So I think for me, the bedrock of that is around people pleasing.
Mm,
And I'm a longtime devotee of people pleasing,
oh, yeah.
whether I like it or not. It has I was well taught, uh, especially by my mother, A,
Yeah.
because of her personality, and B, just because of the era she grew up in and the era that I grew up in. That was, what you're supposed to do, especially as females in our
Yeah.
culture. But I think that has shifted for me over time-ish. I heard those friends of mine who are listening to this when I just said that, because I heard you all go, like, you were still a people pleaser, Nancy. And it goes way back, so I own it. But I think that nice gets a bad rap.
Mhm. Like, you can be walked all over, you're spineless, you're
Yep.
nice, you're pushover, all the things.
I think there are ways that both plays out in our work life, professional life, for
Mhm,
sure, that it's problematic.
mhm.
And I think that the honest side has its place. And I
Uh,
think honest does not mean, like, I just think about people who, in the name of being honest, are mean.
really,
And
like, doesn't need to be said.
yeah,
Yeah.
mean, shaming, judgmental. I'm
Mhm.
just being honest.
Right.
No, you're being an
Well, I
ass.
got your honesty right here.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's talk about nice for a minute, shall we?
okay. Sure.
So because I always love starting with the like stories that we have
Right.
about that. So
Mhm.
think back over the decades of your life, my dear, and tell me, what do you think the stories that you have in your head about what it means to be nice?
Yeah, well, I think so many stories. Maybe this is a predominantly female thing, I don't know, and I don't even know that it matters, but you need to be nice girls are liked,
Mm,
right? Nice girls get invited to things. Nice girls make the cut. Being nice is the price of inclusion,
ooh, mic drop moment.
right? Yeah. Like I had to be
Oh,
nice to be included. Honesty is, and I tend to be conflict averse just by nature. So honesty requires conflict. If there's conflict, that means you're not nice. People don't like you and they're not going to include you. Yeah,
interesting.
I know. And I realize like my
Yeah.
52-year-old brain realizes none of that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that that is my default thought process and it was ingrained in me at an early age.
Yeah. That is so that what you said that about it being the price of being included.
Mhm. It's a price of
Super
admission.
true. Yeah. For me growing up, I think the price of admission I thought was about being funny.
Oh, sure.
I don't I don't know if I thought about
Did you
necessarily
know
about
you
it
were
being
funny from an early? Because you are funny. Did you like, you always know you were funny? Okay, you gotta
um,
watch the video because Nancy about fell out of her chair. But you are funny.
I think I am way funnier than I am is really the answer
I
to
think,
no, but I crack myself up. I could be by myself in the car. I talk to myself when I'm in the lake cold plunging, and I am cracking myself up.
yeah. I think I'm funny. I think I'm funny. I crack myself up all the time.
You are
I
pretty
didn't think
funny.
I grew up funny, but I think I'm funny now.
No, I mean, not that we have to go down that, but I do think I used humor, um, as to try and be my the differentiator, why people would
Mhm.
like me because I was funny.
Yeah.
I would make people laugh, but not in a class clown, dance on the table with a lampshade on my head, not that kind of
No.
funny. I'm not fun, I'm just funny, which is a
Uh,
different thing, which is a
It
whole
actually is different. Okay.
separate thing. Okay, but being nice, how would you we're just gonna focus on you a little bit here, if you don't
Sure.
mind, just hot
Okay.
seat.
Feeling like therapy. I love it.
So, with that sort of as being sort of your bedrock
Uh-huh.
understanding around nice, how do you navigate being nice in the world now, either personally or professionally?
Let's start with professionally because that just feels easier.
So easy.
It's way safer. So professionally, like, say if growing up, like, nice was the price of admission, honesty is the price of getting it done. I don't have something quite as profound from an honesty, but a perfect example is, let's say I'm working with a client who's a seller. We're going to sell their house. Maybe they want a little bit more than it's worth, or they don't want to do the prep work that will really net them the most because it's a hassle, it's inconvenient, it's costing them money, they don't want to spend all the things. The nice version of me years ago would be like, okay, well, I just want to be nice. I want you to feel good. So let's pick yours too high of a price and let's not do any of the prep work that's actually going to get you some of those dollars
Mm,
because I'm being nice and I don't want to inconvenience you. And we all know how that ends up. The house doesn't sell, or even if it does, it's long, it's arduous. The client is not happy at the end of it.
yeah,
They could give a rip how nice I am. They just want the result. So now I am, and I actually do believe that now the nice thing is to be honest, even
mm,
if the honesty isn't what they want to hear. I know you want this much money for your house. We all want it because let's be real, I'm paid on a percentage of the sales price. So more is better for all of us. But if the market's not going to get it for you, like, let's just be honest up front and then we can have discussions about, is this even the right time for you to sell your house? And I've got 30 years of experience that tells me these are the things that will net you the most money. And I know you don't want to do them and all of those things. And if you don't want to do them, you just let me take over it and I'll project manage it and I'll have the people show up. You just write the, like, there's ways to handle it. But the
yeah,
honest answer is this is the process that gets you the result you're looking for.
yeah.
And just because you give me a little pushback and say you don't like it, like, I get that. I recognize it, but now I don't go into the nice version of me of like, "Oh, no, they gave me pushback. They might not like me." They like the result I get.
So, tell me about those moments where you don't do that, where you stay being nice,
Right,
crossing your own boundary. Because I can think of a situation this past year that was really challenging for me,
right.
where for a bunch of different reasons, I don't even know if it was nice as much as yeah, it was about me.
Yeah,
I wanted to give them what they wanted, which was this price, and they wanted to price their house based on their spreadsheet of what they were hoping to get out of it because they bought a place, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
And I was swayed by their, let's just give it a try. And it was not the best advice and did not get them the outcome that they wanted. I mean, we did sell it. And I have to say, I saw the comp that we'd been on the market with at the same time. And last week, that house was still on the market.
Nice.
So I know.
Not
And I
nice, but
did put, I mean, not for them, but I
yeah,
did
for
text
you.
my clients and say, hey, guess what? At least we're sold.
Right.
Um, so what I'm curious is for both of us, kind of rhetorical question, but like, what is the moment that we're in where we either kind of cave to just being nice and giving a
Mhm.
client what will be easy and safe and comfortable for them doesn't make waves versus us being honest.
I think it's that moment. We'll just stick with the whole seller
Sure.
scenario
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we're
yeah.
kind of
I
going down
think
that
that's
road.
yep.
It's that moment they say, but I really want this price.
Mm,
And it's so much higher than the market will bear. Or
yeah,
I don't really want to do all of these things. And it's their property, it's their decision. So maybe we do go on at that price, or maybe they don't do that work. But the nice part would go, oh, and I'm still going to get you the total result you want. Like, we're going to go too high and it's still going to be great, or you're not going to do any of this work and nobody's going to notice. Like, it's great because I'm nice. Versus now, the honest conversation is, okay, the market doesn't support that. If you want to do that, here's here's what here's what it might look like. Here's how you know if you nailed it or not. Like, here's our path if we go this route, or if you don't want to do it. It's just a super honest sharing
mhm,
of what those decisions are likely to play out as, and specific to their real estate transaction. And still, like, I'm very on now, my boundaries are such that I'm honest. I let them make their own decision because it's their property.
sure.
And then I get to decide if I'm going to walk that path with them or not. I may or may
Yeah,
not. I've had some where we walk the path, and I've had some where this is not, I can tell this is not going anywhere good. So
yeah.
I don't need to walk that path with you. And now I'm to the point where even saying no feels nice
Mhm,
because it's honest. And like, let's just figure, like, no, that is actually the nicest thing I can say right now because
yeah.
we're not going to get there together. So
Mhm,
you should just not try at all, or you should definitely try with somebody else because you're not going to be happy with me, and I'm
yeah,
not going to be happy with you.
yeah. I think it's interesting that and clearly you and I don't get to 20 and 20 million years in real estate. What I know it
20 million years. I love it.
anyways, doesn't matter. We don't get to where we are at in our professional lives always caving into what clients do, but there are moments where, for whatever reason, there's something in that relationship or the communication
Yeah,
or the shifting market that makes us feel like maybe it's not such a bad idea to do the
for
thing
sure.
that somebody else is proposing. But I do think because you and I chat all the time that most of the time we regret those decisions
Yeah.
to go for the nice as opposed to being more honest. What I am struck by, and I'm going to pivot a little bit off of
Sure.
from working in real estate and with sellers, is I was in a mastermind group decades ago. I don't even remember how long ago it was, but it was a group project. And there was one person in the group that was kind of a pain in the butt to deal with, and it's really a pain in the butt, and we all we didn't know each other outside of doing this project, and we just plowed through. It was like a couple month long, wasn't like a long job or partnership or any of that. It was just very time limited. Again, I don't even remember the details. I'm not sure they matter. Anyway, so at the end of the project, we all went out for drinks one night with the person who was our sort of mentor, and we were debriefing about the experience. And the person who'd been a pain in the butt did not come out for drinks that night. Not surprising. I don't think she probably liked us by the end because we probably didn't really like her either. And so, the mentor was asking, a coach person was asking sort of about like this other person, and they weren't there. And several of us probably talked about how it was really difficult to work with her and blah, blah, blah. And she asked us, the coach, like, so how did you handle that? Did any,
Mm,
and the reality was nobody had been direct. We were all in our probably 30s, but none of us were direct. None of us sort of addressed the elephant in the room. And the instructor, the coach said, oh, because, sorry, let me back up. One of the people had said, I thought about the fact that this is only a few months of working together, not unlike real estate. And I was never going to see this person afterwards. And it just wasn't worth the effort for a relationship that had a shelf life.
mhm.
And everybody's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of what I was thinking. And this coach was so good. And she said, honey, you guys missed the whole point
Right.
in that. you don't have that more honest conversation with this other person that may be hard and make you feel vulnerable or risk hurting the other person's feelings or whatever their response is going to be. You don't risk that just for the long-term relationship. You do it because that's who you want to be in the world. You want to show up for you having a voice and being clear and authentic.
Yeah.
And that,
That's
oh my God, it has changed kind of every shorter term relationship that I have had since then, whether it's, a friendship that has some sort of time limited context or client relationships or vendors or even with other realtors, because it's not about, oh, you and I are going to be besties after this transaction, whether you're the other broker or my client who clearly we're not clicking and we're probably not going to, have a great
right.
friendship for the next bazillion years, but it's because you show up for you. So that I think when I think about sort of that, what we've framed in this conversation as the duality of nice versus honest, that honesty piece isn't just for the relationship or for even the task at hand. There's a
Mhm.
level of that honesty which is about your own authentic self and making sure that you're showing up for you and how
Yeah.
you want to be in the world, which is a very different thing.
Very.
Yeah. Way more vulnerable.
It is. So how do you do that for you? What does that look like to show up as a more honest version of
Oh,
yourself?
I don't do it. I just say no.
We're just going to hypothesize
Or
about
I
it. Let
thought that
everybody
I
else
love
figure it out.
watching other people do that.
I know. And isn't that so funny that you say that? Because it's true. Like when somebody else is really honest, even if I don't often agree with their opinion, there's a part of me that's like, you go. Like, I love the fact that you were that honest and that clear.
Yeah.
So I can recognize it and actually really appreciate it in other people. And yet it terrifies me to do it for
Yeah.
myself.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's easy. Think and again, it's, work relationships are obviously much not obviously, but oftentimes less high stakes than in
Right.
our personal life. But
Yeah.
I I think the place that helps me lean into that is when I really check in with my body about how do I feel
Mm-hmm.
and what's getting triggered that has nothing to do with this other person. I mean, usually
Right.
there's so many layers that
Mm-hmm.
are contributing to me feeling like I'm in conflict, air quotes, with this
Right.
other person. So often it has nothing to do with them.
No.
So helping me unpack that a little bit, do a little soul searching for myself
Mm-hmm.
helps me own. And that's not to say that I won't then come back to this person and say, here's what I'm feeling. I am really well aware that I have all this other baggage that's contributing to the story that I have about you that may or may not be true.
Right.
And I'm really hoping that we can shift something because it doesn't feel very good.
Yeah.
And some people are really open to that and are grateful that you named it because they're probably feeling it too.
Mhm.
And to be honest, sometimes those people are super conflict averse. And I am that person oftentimes, to be
Mhm.
honest. But when that stuff comes up, sometimes those other people they can't meet me in that same
Yeah.
place. They don't want to have that conversation. And you can't make somebody else have that conversation.
No.
So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And again, it's less about the outcome of those conversations for me and is really I just need to when I put my little head on my pillow at night, feel like
Mhm.
did I show up? Was I sort of in alignment with who I am and how I want to walk through the world? And sometimes I do that better than others.
Yeah. I think that's fair. It's
Yeah.
progress,
Yeah.
not perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to the nice piece, I think that gets triggered for me when I don't feel like I know where I stand with those people.
Yeah. You're on unsure footing and
Yeah,
you're like,
like,
afraid one's gonna tip it one way versus the other.
I think when I feel like there's trust there and a little bit of commitment, like,
Mhm,
we're in this together, there's a collaboration
mhm,
that I feel like there's more safety, there's more permission to ask harder questions
right,
and or say harder things.
totally.
But nice for me, when I'm falling into the nice piece, it's more about not feeling certainty in the relationship, which is
Sure,
interesting because I think having the nice conversation often is we talk about it as being it's a safer conversation to have, and I think I'm in the nice lane because it
when you feel
doesn't
unsafe.
when it
Yeah,
feels unsafe.
100%. Like, the
Isn't that
honest
ironic?
conversation is the safer one. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Scary, vulnerable, all that stuff.
Yeah,
So that surprised me as we were having this conversation to sort of have it click. Oh, the nice is usually when I'm not feeling super grounded and connected with the other person.
yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah,
feel like we're in sync.
that's true. That's a good as you say that, I'm like, "Yep, you're totally right." And I know you
Thank you.
mentioned that you notice it in your body when you're kinda stuck in the nice versus the honest camp. I notice for me when I'm not being honest, whether I'm being nice or not, but when I'm not being honest, that's when I start, like, flaking out on things, I don't
Mm,
follow through on things because I wasn't honest about I either committed to something or said something that just doesn't resonate with me, and then I'm like, "No, I don't wanna do anything."
yeah.
'Cause it's not what I wanted to do, or it's not the approach that, feels right and true for me. So those are my true triggers when I feel overwhelmed or when I notice I'm just all of a sudden my follow through is gone. It's usually because I wasn't honest about something in a conversation or a commitment or relationship
Mm,
or something, and I need to go back and revisit that
yeah.
to get things back in order.
Just hearing you say that made me think about how our relationships and friendships evolve over the decades of our life.
Right.
I think there's an arc of relationship where you just always evaluating like, is this a relationship that I'm wanting to invest in? I think we're calibrating that all the time. It's kind of like when you're
Yeah.
in the car driving and you're using GPS and you take a wrong turn or whatever, and it's like recalibrating, recalibrating. It's like I
Mhm.
feel like that is constantly happening for me in my relationships with people. And some of that's based on, what I'm getting back from them and all of that.
Totally.
The takeaway for me of the day was talking about nice being the price of admission and inclusion.
That is definitely how I grew up.
Yeah. And I'm going to guess there are a lot of us who still, in those moments when we want to feel like we fit in and belong, will probably defer to that story in our head.
Mhm.
And I love that we've had this conversation about that actually nice and honest is not an either or.
Yeah,
And there's places for both, but it is interesting the stories that we have in our head about it.
for sure. I think the
Yeah.
older I get, they're merging. The nice and the honest are merging, or there's a way to merge them.
Mhm. I
Sometimes
love
the
that.
nice versus not is in the delivery, but
I love it. Well,
yeah,
thanks for exploring this. This has been fun. Please like, subscribe, share, post, review, and
all the things.
hit us in the DMs and tell us what your stories are around nice and honest
Mhm.
and what else you want to hear us be talking about.
Thing is today.
All
All right.
right. See you on the flip side.
Bye.